The focus of this operation is a Russian soldier wandering around an abandoned village. Unaware that he was being observed by a drone, the soldier continued to move around and shortly afterward, an FPV drone was sent toward him. Strangely, upon hearing the drone sound, the Russian soldier chose to remain completely motionless. The drone made contact near the soldier. But why did the soldier do such a thing? Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments. Subscribe and like. Winter conditions have always been a factor capable of reshaping the balance on the battlefield. Heavy snowfall, limited visibility, and freezing temperatures place immense pressure on both personnel and equipment. However, recent video footage from the front lines clearly shows that these harsh conditions are no longer an obstacle for FPV drones. On the contrary, snowy weather increasingly creates a challenge for Russian infantry units. As Russian soldiers move across snow-covered terrain, they lose much of their natural concealment. Against a white background, human movement becomes highly visible from the air. Even brief pauses, short advances between positions, or attempts to regroup are easily detected. For FPV drone operators, this environment significantly simplifies observation. Footprints in the snow, disturbed surfaces, and subtle heat contrasts all reveal the presence and direction of infantry units. Winter conditions also severely restrict the mobility of Russian soldiers. Heavy winter clothing, bulky equipment, and slippery ground slow movement and reduce reaction speed. FPV drones exploit this vulnerability by approaching at low altitude and high speed, often being detected only seconds before arriving, if at all. Snowfall and wind noise further mask the sound of the drone's engine, leaving soldiers with little time to react. Video footage frequently shows small groups of Russian infantry moving through open or partially sheltered areas, only to have drones observe and record their positions in quick succession. The first operation usually triggers confusion. Yet dispersing or rapidly changing positions on snow-covered ground is extremely difficult. This situation creates ideal conditions for follow-up drone operations, affecting unit cohesion and organization. Cold weather can also limit the effectiveness of electronic warfare systems. Russian units operating in temporary or exposed positions often lack continuous and reliable electronic protection. As a result, FPV drones are able to approach their areas of observation with minimal interference. Parasitic resistance systems and fiber-optic controlled drones maintain stable video feeds even in harsh winter conditions, enabling precise and deliberate operations. The psychological impact is significant, just as the physical challenges. For soldiers waiting in silence on frozen terrain, the constant presence of an unseen airborne observation system places immense strain on morale. The uncertainty of when and from where a drone might appear makes it difficult to hold positions for extended periods. Over time, this pressure affects defensive lines and contributes to increased withdrawals and abandoned positions. In conclusion, winter is no longer a limiting factor for FPV drone operations. Snowy conditions, combined with restricted mobility, increased visibility, and psychological stress, music, now work decisively against Russian infantry. The video footage emerging from the battlefield once again demonstrates that in modern warfare, technology, not seasons, influences the outcome. FPV drones have become one of the most impactful elements on the battlefield, capable of breaking the frozen silence of winter with sudden and precise operations. 2 Russian soldiers were neutralized by a single drone operated by Birds of Magyar. In this footage, a Ukrainian drone tracks 2 Russian soldiers from a long distance in an open area and moves toward them. The soldiers attempt to take cover behind a tree and remain close together at the same spot when the drone approaches from behind. Both soldiers are neutralized immediately. The drone's estimated speed is around 100 to 150 km per hour, making escape extremely difficult in open terrain. Training footage published by the Ukrainian 425th Assault Regiment Skylia shows Ukrainian soldiers undergoing military training. The soldiers practice maneuvers inside shelters and train with tanks, snipers, and drones. The Ukrainian Special Forces demonstrate dedication and professionalism, actively preparing for operations in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Don't forget to comment your thoughts on the Ukrainian forces and subscribe to the channel for the latest updates. A lone Russian soldier was wandering in an open, snow-covered field, uncertain of his surroundings. A Ukrainian drone from the 414th UAS Brigade, Magyar's Birds, monitored his movements from above. The soldier attempted to respond, but his efforts were ineffective. During the incident, he slipped and fell, while the drone continued observing the position for situational tracking. Take a close look at this Russian soldier. Despite an FPV drone flying very close to him, he continues moving forward, appearing unaware or unable to respond to the situation beside him. Even after noticing the drone, the soldier shows little visible reaction. As he approaches an abandoned house, the drone moves in to carry out its engagement, and the situation quickly reaches a decisive moment. Ukrainian Special Operations Forces fighters conducted an operation on rear positions in the Lyman direction. The action took place in a forested area, where a Russian bunker was identified. Ukrainian soldiers first moved the entrance covering of the bunker aside. Shortly afterward, a Ukrainian drone was deployed into the bunker, resulting in a strong blast inside the position. After a brief pause, a Ukrainian soldier deployed a grenade into the bunker and applied controlled fire toward the interior. Moments later, voices were heard from inside indicating an intention to surrender. Shortly after, 2 Russian soldiers emerged and surrendered, bringing the operation to a conclusion.